welcome to another episode of The Taste of Whiskey. I'm back from my trip from Kentucky. Awesome trip. I had such a great time. I went camping at Carter Caves National Park out there, which is on the eastern side of Kentucky. Beautiful park, awesome caves. It was such a big state. All the distilleries that I wanted to check out were so far away. I had to drive hours and hours to get to them, but I managed to get to a few. And I had some really awesome tours, tried some really awesome bourbons, and I brought back a ton. And I'll have more videos of the tours that I did and more tasting reviews of the bourbons that I brought back. So today, I'm doing a really special distillery that I found, Bluegrass Distillers. I thought they were awesome. Check out this video. Cool.
So we've been around since 2013. We actually didn't open our doors to the public though until 2015 because we wanted to be able to label all of our products as Kentucky straight bourbon, which means it's been aged for at least 2 years. Are you like somewhat familiar with the requirements of bourbon? Are you familiar with the triple sip method? Triple sip method.
Triple sip.
Yeah.
So because the first time your brain is like, whoa, what is this? And then
so it just allows you to have the best opportunity to taste some of these things on this flavor wheel. But if I were to make like Rob Taylor's personalized flavor wheel, it would be a big circle, just the word bourbon in the center of it. I don't necessarily get hints of lavender or notes of marshmallow when I taste bourbon, but my palate is not that well trained, but the effort's half fun, to be honest. There's a science behind tasting these things because the alcohol is interacting with the acids inside the barrel, and as water is eliminated, it creates esters. And esters are molecules that convince us we're tasting things even though we're not actually tasting it. So I assure you, there is no leather or tobacco in our bourbon.
Right.
But the reason why you might taste these things is because of that ester. Let's see, what else? Although, you don't have to do the triple sip method. If you want to just knock it back like you're a sailor, feel free to.
No, I sip.
And there are really no right or wrong answers when it comes to the flavor wheel. I said that one time, and the guy was like, "Ooh, I can taste the hops," and I was like, "Why is that the wrong answer?" Do you want any water?
No, thank you.
Right on. So the first one we're going to be trying today is going to be our version of a high rye. So actually, all three of these have the exact same mash bill: 75% yellow corn, 21% rye, and 4% barley, which amazes me because they all have such different flavors. This guy is the 90 proof blend of a high rye. That rye is going to make it a big peppery, a little spicy. Here's a small distillery. We produce about 120 barrels per year, and this is a combination of two of those barrels that we married together.
Ooh, that's very nice. Sometimes when you get a rye whiskey, you don't really taste the rye as much as you want.
Right.
I want it to taste like rye. This has a very nice, nice
to be
bread
considered
flavor.
a high rye bourbon, it has to be at least 13% rye, but once again, it's at least this one's 21% rye. And I believe this is about a 3.5 year old bourbon.
Okay.
Now the second one is one that there's a loophole we like to exploit in the world of bourbon. Which I guess in the past may have been looked down upon, but nowadays it's kind of being considered like innovative and exciting, which is the word finished. You know what a finished product is?
Yes. I love wine finished bourbons and stuff too.
Well, there you go. So this is actually a toasted oak finished bourbon. It's a high rye, so once again 75% yellow corn, 21% rye, 4% barley, and we finished aging it in some toasted oak. It was French oak, I believe. So toasted just means lightly touched with flame on the inside. And have you ever seen creme brulee being made or made creme brulee?
Oh, yeah.
It's the same idea. So we're just trying to caramelize all the sugars. So this one should hopefully be a bit sweeter than this guy. Also a bit more potent, 100 proof versus 90 proof.
Ooh, yes, I love higher proof bourbons.
Sometimes our single barrels can go as high as 128.
Nice.
And it's hard to tell if that's strong until you've had 4 glasses.
Ooh. It's so soft, but it's so flavorful.
What do you think of, what do you prefer, number 1 or number 2?
I think this one, I prefer that one probably.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I'm not picky, like I like it all.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Now the third one, before I tell you what the third one is, if you pick that one up and you take a nice big whiff of it, you will probably be able to tell me what it most likely tastes like.
All right, let's see.
It's not a challenge. It's gonna be the first thing that comes to mind when you go to smell it.
All right, when I smell it, it smells like pickles.
You got it. Pickles it is. So it is a pickleback finished bourbon.
No kidding.
So what we've done is we took one of our bourbon barrels and we filled it with pickle brine. We aged the pickle brine in it for a period of time, dumped the pickle brine out, and then we finished aging our high rye bourbon in it. It's kind of a big deal.
That is interesting. Well, because I had pickle moonshine, and I was like, it was too much. But that's actually
It makes a really, really good Bloody Mary. Like, I can't drink a lot of it by itself.
Yeah.
But I think the best reaction I ever had to was an older gentleman who I guess was a bit of a purist. And so when he tried it, he just goes, "No, sir. No." I want to make sure I like it. Yeah, it's amazing the things that we're doing with bourbon nowadays. We also, so this isn't the only products that we make. We've got a wheated bourbon as well as a blue corn bourbon. Hold on a second.
Yeah, sure.
That's good. So the blue corn bourbon, we're the only ones here in Kentucky to make blue corn bourbon. It doesn't really grow well in this area, so it's not as widely used. You also have a much smaller yield on the actual corn itself because it's a smaller kernel. Mm-hmm. And although you don't get as much out of it, we feel like what you do get out of it is well worth it. Blue corn is going to be a bit sweeter than yellow corn because it has a higher sugar content. Also, it's a wheated bourbon, which wheat is sweet. In September, we actually released a bottle and bond blue corn bourbon, which, as far as we know, was the first time in history there's ever a blue corn bourbon bottle and bond ever released.
Really? Do you still have some?
So not here, unfortunately. There is some for sale at Total Wine in Hamburg Pavilion, which they, as of like 2 days ago, they had like 20 cases of it. So if you have time to run by there, I definitely recommend checking it out. They are pretty amazing.
How far away are they?
Maybe 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, Lexington's pretty much everything's 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
You want to come check out the facilities?
Yeah, please, if I could.
This is Key, our head distiller.
How are you, sir?
Here's our barrel room. These only represent maybe like 10% of our total barrels in storage total. We now have the rest of our barrels out of Wilderness Trail.
Probably less than
5%, you think?
that, or maybe even less than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is Graham. He's one of the best hair at the distillery.
How are you, sir?
He's like a big cherry.
You say a big what?
A big cherry. Wonderful hair.
And then we have our two copper pot stills, which this guy is the original still that we've been using since 2013. It was meant to be used with open flame originally, which is why it had that cup on the bottom, but we converted it to use steam. Whereas I call this guy the Gladys the Garden Gnome. We've had her maybe 3 months now. Have we had Gladys for 3 months yet? Do what? Have we had this still for 3 months yet, you think? 2.5? Whereas she was built to use steam, which is why she's missing her skirt today. Okay. So with Gladys, we produce the stripping run or the low wine, whereas the mini we use to produce the high wine or the spirits run. This is our mash tun. You want to go take a look at it?
Ooh.
Definitely got we did mash it right now.
Oh, yeah.
I love the smell of this.
Oh, it smells so good.
This was actually originally meant to be a dough mixer for a bakery out in California, but then we converted it to use steam with insulation jacket.
Oh, all right. Nice.
And our fermentation is in here. This is James, the resident genius of the distillery.
All right, James.
James Bond World. He gives you the cube. Gives all the exploding pins.
Thank you for what you do.
And here's our fermentation.
Oh, very nice. Just temperature controlled?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Fact,
Ooh.
this little green safety device, so no one can get stuck in this room.
Oh.
About 4 weeks ago, I got stuck in this room because we didn't have this in there yet.
Oh, no kidding.
This one room's air conditioned. Like 4 weeks ago, it was really, really hot. So I went in there to cool down for a minute and it shut me in on accident.
That's got a beautiful, rich smell to
I
it,
know.
too.
I love the smell of it.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
And then, actually, you have a little taste for it. You got a little taster left.
Ooh. That's it? Oh. The exclusives behind the scenes. Oh, thank you. So, I brought back 2 versions of their bourbon. I took his advice. I went to Total Wine & More near Lexington. I bought the Bottled and Bond Blue Corn Whiskey, and I bought the Toasted Oak at the distillery. I'm blown away by the blue corn. This is just, it's so good. It's not that old of a bourbon. It's minimum of 4 years, which is actually a requirement for Bottled and Bond. I'll talk more about Bottled and Bond in another episode. But man, this stuff is delicious. I have this in the glass right now. Sweet, sweet classic bourbon smell, but actually in this glass, since I'm outside, I'm kind of by a fire, but I smell a little bit of like apple pie on the nose now. But the flavor is it's like a sweet cornbread, and it has a nice marshmallow finish to it. So good. You know, I typically like my bourbons around 8 years old, as I mentioned before. But for a younger side bourbon, you could taste more of the grain that they use, but they must be using top quality ingredients. You could taste the corn in this, and it just has a nice sweet cornbread flavor. It's so delicious, and it's just, it's smooth, and it's 100 proof, so 50% alcohol. Smooth, so much flavor. It's very aromatic, and it just goes down. It just goes down so easy. So nice. You could really taste the blue corn. It has a unique flavor from it that's different from other corn-based whiskeys. It's more pronounced. Very, very good though. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste it. Excellent. So I'm glad I picked these up in Kentucky, because these are not available for sale in Connecticut, where I reside. Hopefully in the future they can distribute out to here when they produce more. They did mention that they're going to move to a different facility that's bigger, and they'll be able to produce more. Thank God, because this stuff's really amazing. So this is the toasted oak version. They're standard aging, but finished in toasted oak barrels. Which he believed that they were French oak. Again, I'm a little too close to the fire, but classic bourbon aroma. Nice and sweet. A little bit of apple pie in this as well. Wow. I love the taste of a freshly cracked bottle. Lots of flavor in this. The toasted oak really gives it a lot of that caramel and brown sugar. And there's just outside, tasting it here outside, there's like a slight citrus zest to it. And I'm not sure if that's because there's a little bit of nice breeze out here, and I'm next to a fire. It's kind of messing with my senses, but just a beautiful whiskey. It's made perfectly. So rich, so smooth. This is also 100 proof, 50%. You wouldn't be able to tell if you didn't read the bottle. It's so drinkable, and the flavor is astronomical. It's not subtle. It really punches you in the tongue, kind of. And the flavor's fantastic. Wow, there's just a lot going on there. Very rich. The oak really stands out. You get that nice dark sugar, dark caramel. Excellent bourbon. Yeah, so Bluegrass Distillers, excellent bourbon, excellent distillery. I want to thank Rob for the tour. It was a lot of fun going there. I really enjoyed doing the tasting and seeing everything, how you make your whiskeys. And please keep making the blue corn bottle and bond, because this stuff is awesome. And I really hope to be able to buy this in Connecticut in the future, because I'll be restocking on this for sure. Excellent stuff. So thank you for joining me on this episode of The Taste of Whiskey. Please join me next time for another special draft.